Hi, Deepa Rani Shekhar from Transform Life Programs. Love and Light. Friends, how has it been through this challenging phase of the virus descending on us and crippling us in all ways? Economically, socially, fear, internally, mentally. How much has it crippled us? Quite a bit, I'm sure you will agree. And how many of us have been empathetic to people who are providing services throughout, even when there was a lockdown, even when there was a curfew? People have been supporting us, the people who have rendered essential services, the frontline warriors. Have we been compassionate about them? Have we been empathetic about them? You can look up my previous video, which is about empathy. Have we been empathetic? How much have we been cribbing? We are not able to socialize. There are no malls, no movies. The programs on the television are repetitive. How much have we been cribbing about that? We are not able to meet people. We are not able to party. Friends, do you know that the frontline warriors, though they go home maybe once in 2 days or 3 days, they stay quarantined in a room because they're scared their family might get infected. They are not hugging their children. They are not cuddling their spouses. And do you know the fear the families are going through? The way the frontline warriors are exposed to COVID positive cases. And how much are we valuing their sacrifice? Are we embarrassing, shameful if we are not? And along with this, we should also remember the sacrifice of our armed forces through the year, except for a month of their leave. They are there protecting us all the time. That is where you and I can talk, listen, do whatever we want. They are there sacrificing a major part of their lives so that we can have normal lives. And for just a couple of months, things are not going the way we planned. How much are we cribbing? Yes, it is a challenging time. The economy is not what it was. We don't know what will happen. But we have to find alternatives without disrupting the fabric of the directives. Again, when it comes to the directives, how much is it done taking everything into consideration? 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. is a ban on movement. Does Corona maintain so much punctuality? Does the virus maintain so much punctuality? I should attack only at night. I shouldn't infect people from morning 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. because they're working. How cool is that? Saturday, Sunday, I cannot be attacking. They will be on leave. That's the only day I can attack, so they are on leave. The rest of the 5 days, it's working days. I shouldn't be attacking. Is there some norm like that? What is the ban? What is happening? What is the policy? It all seems absurd. It should either be a total control or no control. Partial control, how is it going to help us? Right? So, how much are we cribbing? What are we doing? And how are we utilizing our skills? How much are we contributing positively or negatively to the situation? People are tired of this and they just want to break free and go. Friends, we have to remember it's not just about me and risking myself. It's about risking everybody around us. How cautious are we about that? How much precaution are we taking about that? People are either totally neglecting and throwing everything to the air, or they are overly concerned, overly fearful. And how much are we targeting and stigmatizing people who turned positive? What if tomorrow you and I turn positive? Would we like that stigma? They're already going through a lot. Should we add to that? Just because they are next door, it's not airborne, friends. You're not affected. Only when you go out and get in contact with the virus, which is from the nasal cavity or the saliva, you are at stake. When they sneeze or cough, spit, or through the mucus when you come in contact is when you will be affected. How much are we worrying if we know that somebody in the area is affected? It is bound to happen. When everything is opened up, it is bound to happen. What is the measures that you are taking to stay safe and contribute without causing trouble to people who are braving it out there? Not much, right? Whatever we are doing is something like this. Yesterday, I'm so glad our Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji spoke about Kamegowda of Malavalli Taluk, the pond man as he is called. People who do not realize the value of certain things call him a madman. He is 84 years old, and from 42 years he's been digging ponds all by himself without any funding, without any loans. Great, isn't it? He reminds me of that spirit where he is asking himself probably, what have I done for my country, rather than ask, what has the country done for me? This is what makes my country incredible India, for people like Kamegowda. We have to bow and salute to this great man. He's a shepherd. He started off by selling a couple of his sheep and brought the paraphernalia for digging ponds. After he dug one, he did hire people to help him. He's dug 16 ponds, interconnected that. Look at his vision for environment to balance the hydro-eco balance. Interconnected it. He has seen that the greenery is maintained. He has made it possible for animals and birds to drink water and quench their thirst. And also keep the otherwise dry shrubbed area green and beautiful, productive, fertile. He says if anybody gives him money, he just possesses 2 acres of land and a dilapidated or rather unfinished house. He says all the money he gets, he puts into digging ponds. He says, I am like an alcoholic. When people give me money, I don't say no. Like an alcoholic runs to the liquor store, I go to dig the next pond. He says he wants to make it a number 20. He has named the ponds after his grandchildren. He says if I leave money as a legacy, they will spend it anyways. This is a legacy for them to maintain, for them to grow more fertile and productive products. What a visionary. What a visionary. While people who call themselves activists, there's no activism, friends. You do it or you don't do it. There is no activism. You lead by example. Salu Marada Timmaka was another such exemplary lady who planted thousands of trees all by herself. Where are the environmentalists? What are they doing except talking tall and challenging governments and bucketing funds? Yes, the world is talking so much about Greta Thunberg. At 17, she is called an activist. But actively, what has she done for the environment? So how much do some people get the platform while some people don't even look for the platform? They are the foundation of countries that can be proud of, aren't they? And again, going back to the situation that is at hand, we are talking about doing this, doing that, wearing a mask, and we are cribbing about that. Do we even realize the discomfort of wearing a PPE suit? How much of a difficulty it is for doctors to be inside that and work through the day? And what are we cribbing at? Just a piece of cloth. It's ridiculous. It's really, really ridiculous. Can we be more sensitive to the sacrifice of these people? Can we honor them by saluting them with respect from here? And see if we can hold that sacred space by not desecrating it with loose talks or just saying, it's okay, I don't care. Shall we be more mindful of such people and their sacrifices? When I say sacrifices, it's not just Salumarada Timaka and Kamegowda. I mean all our armed force, all our medical fraternity, all our police force, all our cleaning staff, or all of those frontline warriors. Can we salute them? Thank you for joining me, Deepa Rani Shekhar from Transform Life Programs. Love and light.